So my friend John Rao, a brilliant historian, said he woke up in the middle of the night and he realized what had happened. The church has declared herself non-essential.
Right.
We have all these different decrees of the governments of Western nations and the territories within them, from Brazil to the United States to Europe, that there are certain essential things, essential services that can continue in the midst of the COVID pandemic, and there are non-essential services that have to be stopped so that people don't intermingle. The church has agreed that she provides a non-essential service. So my friend John Rao says this has accomplished what even the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution could not accomplish. And when the church is willing to say that her services, the sacraments, the pathway to salvation is non-essential, how can she ever teach with authority again?
No.
And that's the stage of the crisis that we've reached, which, again, getting back to the third secret, must have been the subject of what the Virgin was talking about in the text that we have yet to see.
My concern is, okay, we had a massive change of the liturgy. That project began under Bugnini in 1951. It climaxed in 1969 with the Novus Ordo and a new liturgy for all seven sacraments. All seven sacraments got a facelift by liturgical scholars. But now what we've seen, Christopher, is no liturgy. And I'm beginning to wonder, here we are, Joy and I were sitting on the front porch last night, and we were saying, this is week 6.
What? You were violating the quarantine.
We're always at least 10 people. If someone comes to our house, we're breaking the number 10 rule all the time. Do not care. I think so much of this is overhyped. But it's been 6 weeks and maybe 7. And here we are. Most Catholics we know, they don't like it. They lament it. Oh, we need to get the churches open. But there is no sense of emergency, sense of anxious. Anxious is the wrong word, but I think emergency, that we need sacraments. And I think we've been in the Novus Ordo air and, like a frog in the pot for so long now that's like, well, yeah, I think, you just pray directly to God, and which we can do, of course. And I've talked all about act of contritions, perfect act of contrition, spiritual communions. Yes, do it all. But as a Catholic, we believe in the 7 sacraments. We believe that this is the normative and ordinary means of grace in the life of the disciple of Jesus Christ. So it's sad to me that people don't seem to care. And then there's the live streaming phenomenon, the live stream masses. But what's that? I mean, it's good. I want people to do it. But I can't live stream for my kids for the next 52 Sundays and expect them to be a Catholic.
What we're seeing is the reduction of the mission of the Catholic Church to the provision of a service.
Yeah.
The mentality is we're service providers. And now the church has said, well, our services are really not that essential.
Yeah.
A federal judge, I'm preparing some litigation on this. I can't really give you any details. But a federal judge in one case in which he struck down the attempt to prevent religious gatherings said as follows: if beer is essential, then so is Easter.
Mm.
How is it that the Catholic hierarchy doesn't recognize this?
I don't understand.
It takes a federal judge to state the obvious. And what the church has said, in essence, is yes, beer is essential, but we are not.
Yes.
There's no way around it. That's what they've agreed to. No one is saying we are essential. We don't see Catholic priests, Catholic bishops, bringing actions to set aside these ridiculous quarantine directives as to the church. They have quietly accepted the reduction of the church to a service provider, no different from any other service provider, and that's the mentality that prevails now.
Yes.
That's why people aren't that upset that they don't have access to the sacraments. Do they really still believe that without the sacraments, they cannot be saved? That's the issue. And apparently we're seeing on a widespread scale the loss of that faith in the necessity of the sacraments. It's sad that we can't go to church and have our community gathering every Sunday, but we can put up with that, or we can watch it on a laptop or on a TV screen. It's the same thing. We don't really need to partake of the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ, which is being handed out by lay women, along with the cup being administered by lay women, people with unconsecrated hands. Well, yeah, it's becoming something like a Protestant community service
Right.
in the minds of people, even though
Yes.
in reality it's not, because the faith doesn't reflect any longer what is really there. Lex orandi, lex credendi.
Right.
You believe the way you pray. If you pray as if the Holy Eucharist is not the body, blood, soul, and divinity, but a piece of bread, you'll come to believe that it's just a piece of bread, and you'll treat it as such. You'll let anybody hand it out, for instance. If it falls on the floor, no big deal. Pick it up and walk away,
Yeah.
which is what I see happening too. So that's what's going on. You're right. And that is an element of this crisis that we have never seen in 2,000 years of church history. Again, my friend John Rouse said, never before, not even the French revolutionaries and the Russian revolutionaries could reduce the church to a non-essential service and get the church to voluntarily cease offering the sacraments everywhere. That's staggering.